Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time to attend today's webinar. I am Jennifer Bagley, and I'll be your host today. You guys, I know you're busy, and taking time out of your schedule to work on your business instead of in your business is one of the most powerful things you guys can do. Today, we've got a powerful session hosted by Ferguson and Air Cold and Day and Night, and we're going to be covering an awesome book. You guys are going to all get a copy of this. So I'm going to start off there, right out of the gate. Everyone that's attending the webinar and or watching the post-webinar, you guys are going to get a recorded version of this as well, so you can share it with your teams. Feel free to go download the book. It is, you can find it just by going online, and you're going to go to HVACmarketingguide.com, HVACmarketingguide.com. My guess is these are some important elements to you, and the book is 30 pages of valuable information you can implement in your business today. So, that being said, I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction, and I'm going to help you kind of walk through some of the important elements within the book. So you'll get a preview right now, and we'll really nail down some of those very, very initial components that are going to help you seriously make a difference within your business. As you know, we offer a tremendous dealer development webinar series. So that's what you're attending right now, right? On a monthly basis, we go through and provide education in different areas. Sometimes it's more strategic and high level in nature. Sometimes we're just drilling down into one specific thing and giving you guys very key pointers that can help you make a significant difference in your overall business. Today, we'll go over the ultimate HVAC marketing guide. You guys, this is step one. This is the getting started version. So be careful if you feel like it gives you a headache right out of the gate. Just remember, it's just the start. So Advil, it helps. All right. So out of the gate, the most simple element that sticks with me is being able to stand in front of an audience of any size around the nation and ask them, not as a business owner, as mom, as dad, as aunt, as uncle, as homeowner, as husband, as wife, how do you buy? How do you do your research? How do you make your decisions? And if it's a new product, a new service, your roof has a leak, you just bought a new house and the inspector came out with 3 or 4 things that are wrong and need to be addressed or haven't been addressed for the last 10 years. What's your process? What do you go through? How do you think through this? And I trust the data that comes from that. Like I said before, I'd rather trust a soccer mom and how they buy than an ad agency with their fancy charts and graphs. I get to stand in front of real people and ask that question. Number one answer is, they look at me almost, with their eyebrows down, scrunched up. Of course, I don't know why I'm asking that question. I was like, I go online. What else would I do? I go online or I ask a friend. And if I ask a friend, guess what? I go back online and I check them out again. With that being said, I don't need, additional information that tells me what I need to focus on. The greatest part about the internet is it levels the playing field. Whether you're a one-person shop or you've got 12 installers and technicians on the road, or 25, it doesn't matter. The internet allows you to be able to compete as if you've been in business for 50 years, as if you're celebrating your 50th anniversary, as if you've got the capacity as a company that's been around for a very long time. And I think that creates a very fair playing field. Now, that being said, there are some significant differences in getting into the digital marketing world or the entrepreneurial world from day one than there is a 50-year-old company who's been around the block. Sometimes those differences are beneficial. It's out of the gate not having to be retrained. right? Being open to technology and the way things are today, instead of being sedentary or set in the ways that we market our business 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago. So there are benefits to being new out of the gate and right now current. We don't have to redo or change a lot of preconceived or rituals or habits or routines, maybe that were done by our parents, our father, our grandfather, the past owner, and so forth. So in order to really take advantage of this equal opportunity state, the first thing we have to think about is, how do we think? In every environment, how we think right now got us where we are right now. If we want to get somewhere new, it's the first and foremost thing we have to adjust. We have to change our thinking in order to deliver or get a new result. So, as you go through this series, you'll hear me talking a lot about, what your mindset is. When I stand on stage and I'm feeding information to an audience, I have people that have attended and came in and they have a preconceived notion that it doesn't work. So their glass is full. I can't put anything else in there. Right? I have some that have so many questions that it's almost impossible to see through the clouds. So the best thing I ask you to do is try and clear your mind and think about this differently, because the game has surely changed. I wrote a poem recently, and it said in a nutshell. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go right to it because I have a copy of it. Okay. The digital age requires change. It's complex, different, and it may feel like pain. The typical advertising agencies are feeling the same, having to pretend they understand code, indexing, and Google algorithm change. In order to stay relevant, they must say to you they understand how customers buy and they can help you reach them this way. The reality is you have to have grown up in this age to truly compete. It's complex and it changes every day. And even if you do everything right, whether they find you online, they're referred from a friend, at the end of the day, the consumer will ultimately go online, do a search, and make their decision based on what everyone else has to say. It's not easy, it's not fast, it's not going away. If you want to be in business 1,000 days from today, change with the times and don't wait for technology to go away. I want to just soak that in for a second. Okay, so we're going to roll into content. This is one of the least, or one of the most, I should say, under-budgeted, planned, and prepared mindsets in this whole process. Everybody thinks they're buying a website, or SEO, or social media. Without content, it's like trying to do sales with no voice. If you have nothing to say, the quality of the content refers to the quality of your voice. So it's important that this is a priority. If you can imagine, it would be very difficult to continue to make sales if you limited your ability to speak. So, content is king. It's your voice online, your ability to speak. It has tags and labels so it can be filed neatly. Why? Because people want to be able to find things easily. It's endorsed by many trustworthy sources. It's been around for a while. It allows me to be so resourceful. I expect to find anything I need online, and I will start looking when I'm starting to unwind. You might be closed, and that's okay because your website's still open. Blow your outer away. I personally like videos. My husband loves blogs. I'll read the reviews. He'll check the FAQs. All of the technical jargon, it just freaks me out. Without a translator, I can't figure it out. I just want to know you care. Whatever product or service you sell, you should try wearing a disguise and seeing it through my eyes. If you can treat me like family, I will be raving. A fan, of course, so don't leave without getting my feedback. I will surely endorse. Just make it easy so I don't have to click the next result. All right, so that's what we had to change things up a little bit. I didn't plan that, but that is that's what I mean is we have to think different, because I promise you consumers are. We can't sit back and say, we'll go back to yellow books someday. Right? It's not going backwards. It's going forward. So strategy, making sure that you have the proper strategy, for most dealers. And, I love this industry because the industry as a whole is so far behind that it allows a company like ours to come in and make major headway extremely fast. In the medical world, in the legal world, in the real estate world, in order to be able to make the kind of results that we get for the Ferguson dealers, it takes years to accomplish the same thing we can accomplish in months. Years. It takes 10, 20, 30 times the amount of resources dedicated to the project that it takes in the HVAC world. It's not going to be that way forever. Strategically, it's not going to be. Those dealers that are taking those steps right now to properly position themselves, to properly manage the way they think, the way they execute their digital strategies, the content, they have many more years online. They have, thousands or 10,000s or 50,000s of pages online that have been around for a long time. They've gained equity, they've gained trust, they've gained results. And then someone out of the gate tries to come in and say, you know what, I can bump them down. No, it doesn't work that way. The last thing I would do, because I've seen both ends of the equation, right? I've got 20 years in this and 10 years in HVAC. I know how difficult it is to wait and then to try and get into a game that's already being played by the best. Whereas in your world right now, I don't know when you're watching this video, but if you're live, we're sitting at the end of the year in 2016. So depending on when you're watching this, but right now, this month, this year, you guys have an open playing field. You have the ability to get in now. The longer you wait, the more congested those lanes are going to be. The stronger, more powerful, and better positioned the competitors are going to be. The more time, the more energy, the more investment, the more resources it's going to take to be able to get the same results. So, you guys, this is huge, huge, huge opportunity. So you've got to have complete clarity, right? It's impossible for somebody to be able to give you a navigation or address or guide you to where you want to go if you don't know the address. So no different than me inviting you to a party. I need to know where you are. I'm going to tell you where we are and how to get there. So you have to have clarity on what you want. The process for putting together a strategic plan for a company whose goal is to sell. Do I sell the business, make a ton of money, sail off into the sunset, I'm done. I want umbrellas in my drink. That's one strategy. Somebody that's just getting started right out of the gate, maybe they're working full-time and this is a part-time gig for them and they're trying to grow, that's a different strategy, right? That's your bootstrapper entrepreneur that this is their passion. They want to run their own business. Somebody that's doing $1 million in sales, 10 million in sales, somebody that has a database or has the infrastructure in place. These are all very, very, very different strategic plans. So the great part about what your team at Ferguson is doing and the way that they think is they understand that this is not a product. This is not the sales guy walking in with his cool, promo piece, laying it down, and boom, this is what I have to sell. This is what you're going to need to buy. Let me tell you how great it is. It doesn't work like that. In your industry, you guys, there was a lot of strategic thinking and research that went into identifying what does the infrastructure need to look like for you? What do you need to have in place? What are the bare minimum, the basics? What are the fundamental things you need to have in place in year one? And I mean year one is in your recommitment to doing it right. So not start of the business. And then how are we going to leverage that? How are we going to grow that? How are we going to evaluate it? So on year two, on year three, the planning process. We have clarity on exactly what needs to happen now. We know where ultimately we need to go, and those are what additional meetings are for. And then the planning, positioning. What technology do you need? What network do you need to be surrounded by? Who are those right players that are great indexes, great mentors, that are going to guide you properly, that are going to give you advice, that are truly going to impact your business, depending on how much you invest into, obviously doing something with it. Being able to, over time, make you the authority in your area. Being able to leverage technology to create cash, time, free up resources, bring on resources. Being able to leverage one asset across multiple channels and venues so that you're getting compounding interest impacts on your investments, your business, your activities. When I say this, I'll give you one example. Somebody writes you the best letter you've ever had. It was a handwritten note. They put a picture of their family standing right next to the new system you just installed in their brand new house with the sold sign out in the yard in the distance. And in that handwritten note, they said how much they love you and thank you so much. That can never go in a drawer or on a desk. We have to make those things it must become a permanent asset for your business that is leveraged and re-leveraged after that. And that's important. Put into and implementing automation techniques, focusing on conversions, and then evaluating your results. In this world, we know, and we sit down on a regular basis and go through what's working, what's not, what do we need to add. And the biggest important element is, within your mindset, you need to have a what's next mentality. All right, we got that done. What's next? All right, we got that done. What's next? I literally have our customers during my busy season. When you guys are not busy, we're swamped, right? We're traveling, we're speaking, we're on stage, we're doing workshops. I'm on airplanes, and I have dealers that reach out and they're like, Jen, I'm in my what's next mindset. We're ready to roll. What's next? Let's add some more phrases. Why? Because it's working. Let's add some more content. Why? Because I have more things I want to be found for. Everything's about doing the right thing in the right time, the right things in the right order at the right time. This is not a hodgepodge. This is not because a sales guy walked in or because you went to this cool training. It's time to invoke Twitter. It doesn't. Be careful. Salespeople are funny. That's what they have. That's what they sell. That's all they have available, and you need it right now. No. As an entrepreneur, as a business strategist and a growth hacker, there's a whole bunch of things that have to be put in consideration. If you are spending tons of money on pay-per-click and you have a website that is an immediate turn-off when someone gets there, you're burning money. If you have a website that's absolutely beautiful, it doesn't have text, and you go invest in marketing, but it's missing content, burning money. If you're trying to focus on getting ranked on Google, but you only have 3 pages of content, you don't have content for every single search phrase, burning money. You're not going to get the results. If you have this incredible marketing plan, but you're not tracking leads, opportunities, sales inside a database that can be sifted, sorted, reused, missed opportunity. So we have to research, plan, implement, evaluate, and continue to refine what works over and over and over again. I love it. Our clients, we have quarterly strategy sessions with them. That's what they commit with out of the gate, right? They commit to quarterly. Now, we know your business, and we will see them during spring and fall. However, we try and get them to commit to 4 and then show up for 2. So this is a giant. This is a spider. Everything's interconnected. So can every business jump in and do everything all at once? Absolutely not. And I get that. It's about doing the right things in the right order. So we have a little bit of a map here. 12-step roadmap to achieve accelerated results. So first, your website and your branding. That's essentially you online representing your company. So it's first and foremost. This is the hub, the starting port, where conversions take place. Your brand. What do people think about you? What's the feeling when they immediately get there? How do they react? They feel like they're at an established company in your industry, you have a group of consumers that they want the best technology, right? Let's just go back to heating and air conditioning. They want a connected house. They want a mobile app that they can talk to their heater and turn it on, turn it off when they're away from the house. They eventually want it connected to their security system. They want to be able to see in their house. They want to be able to unlock the doors. They want to be able to close the garage. They want to be able to control the heat from their phone. You're in an age where consumers are demanding more and more connectivity and technology. They don't just want it from the equipment, they want it from the companies they do business with. So regardless of what the point is, as far as what rationale you put behind why your website looks like it does. My wife designed it. My friend designed it. My son designed it. He just got his degree. So, those are like triple F's, friends, families, and fools. We need to avoid them. We've all used them, and that's okay. But eventually, when we're committed and we're serious about growing our business, this is a professionals environment, and it takes a big group of people to be able to do this right. Designers, developers, coders, engineers, content writers, conversion rate experts. They're all different. They all come with, they're not even born from the same mother. Moms can't pop out somebody who's analytic and creative in the same brain and bring this kind of talent together. So website first, content second. Content is a phased approach. In the beginning, get the basics done, right? If somebody comes to the site, they need to know who you are, what you do, where you do it, how to reach you, what do the people think about you. Those are the basics. For an effective search strategy, you at least need to cover the basics for your area. If you're sitting in Utah, Arizona, you've got very distinct seasons. Your services are breaking down pretty simply. AC service, AC installation, AC replacement, AC maintenance, AC changeouts, AC tune-ups, AC repair. That can be broken into air conditioning, air conditioners, and so forth. Same thing on the heater side, whether it's furnace or heater, and continue from there. You got to have one page of content per search and location. We're not even touching. At that point, we're just being able, it's like walking into a store and seeing a whole bunch of hangers, but there's nothing on the hangers when you don't have the right content. You don't even know what rack to go to, right? So we can't make people guess. We have to give it to them. All right. And these are writers. I mean, they need to be technical experts, meaning from a SEO standpoint. They need to be conversion experts from how do consumers feel and react to specific words, phrases, and content. And they also need to understand HVAC. And they're not easy to find, especially ones that are willing to figure out how to write an article about air conditioning repair 600 different ways without ever making any duplicate content. And make it have passion. All right. So CRM conversions. We got to track those leads. SEO, blogging, reviews, local listings, social media, pay-per-click, video, email marketing, mobile apps. My guess is some of you are just barely getting 2 or 3 of these things done. The plan that we put together with Ferguson is going to at least get you the basics for 6 or 7 of these areas. Keep adding. Every one of these, if you're not doing it, it's a missing element. It's a major missing element. Why? Because you guys have, there are multiple things strategically you need to be doing in order to keep growing. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. So on a quarterly basis, or spring and fall, you got to have a strategy session. At that time, your team needs to be evaluating the results. What's working? What's not working? You need to add the missing elements. Do more of what's working. You need to remove or decrease the things that are not performing, as long as you've given them enough time to evaluate them. If you can't measure it, you can't change it. So as a business owner, we're not sitting in the stage saying, I'm doing the same thing year over year over year. However, I'm expecting a completely different result. It doesn't work like that. If I want more, I do more. If I want to be able to go after another market or another city or drive more business to my repair business or add more maintenance plans so my residual income is getting higher, or I want a higher end customer that's doing installations with a higher SEO piece of equipment so that my energy, the amount of high efficiency systems that I'm doing is bigger and my margins are greater, I make more money with less work. Every single one of those thoughts that goes through your mind requires a different strategy. Have to keep doing that. So we have to figure out, what are the missing elements? What do you need to do more of? If it's working, if my phone's ringing because I'm sitting on page 1, position 1 of Google in these cities for these phrases, guess what I'm going to do? I want more. It's hard when you're first getting started, because when you're first getting started, you're thinking about, what's my budget? The ones who are further down the road, they're not thinking, what's my budget? They know it's a mathematical equation. As long as I have the resources, the staff, the installers, the technicians to be able to support the business, and I know my phone's ringing because I'm sitting on that page for 10 phrases, 50 phrases, 100 phrases. I want 10 more phrases in those cities and those neighborhoods, because the average income of those households in that neighborhood is much higher. I know I can do less work. I've got the technicians to support it. I know that there are 300,000 pages in that drawer, and it's going to take me 3 to 6 months in order to get on page 1. And when I get there, it needs to be before my season. So I need to start six months ahead of time. And I know how much money I'm going to make, or at least ballpark how many leads and opportunities I'm going to be able to process, so that I can work on my conversion strategies 6 months from now. It's a different game once you understand the math. You have different target markets that throughout the process of building your business are going to continue to change. In the beginning, your target market may be only making sure that if somebody looks for your company name, your number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on Google for your own brand. That's a very different strategy. That's protecting your most valuable asset, which is your company name, your brand name online, and ensuring that your customer referrals always immediately know who you are, what other people think about you, and instantaneously, without question, can Google your company name with the word reviews and they're happy. Can Google your company name and they're not choosing between, God, what one is this? ABC Paradise Air Conditioning? There's 10, right? Comfort. there's very, very similar names in the industry. We have to make sure you stand out very, very clear. So that may be a goal in the beginning. The first goal may be that you are online, we can find you, we know who it is, but there's negative reviews associated with your name. So your first target may be, how do we gather strategically and intentionally enough positive reviews in order to push the negative ones backwards? How do I fix my operational processes to ensure that I'm not getting additional negative reviews? Because even if your business is solely referral, if they go online, do a search, pull your company name with the word reviews, and the first thing they see is 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, or worse is rip-off report, or bad Better Business Bureau, or I love Yelp, not so much, but if they see those negative reviews, they're out. So it doesn't matter if you spend money and time on all these other things, right? Your conversion rate's going to be low. It's going to be in the tanks because the consumer will trust what they see online and a review from Google over their own mother's referral. So every one of these is a different process. This is why I say keep adding what's missing. What's next? What do we focus on next? Maybe you've been in business for the last 10 years. You know that your record, if you open up that file drawer, boom, it's going to fly open and there's 6,000 past clients in there, but none of them are in a database. You don't have email addresses on them. That's a different strategy. Creating a campaign, which is going to have to be a mailer, and sending it out to everybody because you have their addresses in your QuickBooks account, getting those boxes of paper over to my file scanner, letting us scan all of the files and give them back to you in a readable database that's OCR'd so you can search it. Having the flyer go out and it has one mission, and that is For everybody that provides their signs up, they get something. I don't know what it is. It's a Starbucks card. It's a $5 Amazon card. Just fill in the form online to receive your $5 Amazon card. Help us update our database today. Build your list. Then never ever do that again. Make sure that all of your records are digital going forward for customers, prospects. Why'd they buy? What'd they buy? When did they buy? Did they not buy? Why didn't they buy? Did they not buy because it was a financial thing? Did they just buy a house and the inspector told them that this heating and air conditioning system was at least 12 years old and they better get that fixed? They bought the house. They decided to get their hardwood floors first. Do you still have an opportunity? Absolutely. Are you going to forget about it if it's not in a database? Absolutely. In a marketing environment, your goal may have nothing to do with new lead acquisitions. Nothing. Same process. Still need content, still need SEO, still need a great website, still need to look well, still need a brand that looks powerful, strong, like it's been around for a while, like it's current as well. And your goal may be one thing. I'm going to have to build me a library of technicians. I've got to get installers. I've got to get technicians. I've got to get people answering these phones. I can't use this call center anymore. How am I going to properly position my website? So for all of the certified technicians in my area that are interested in an HVAC job, they find me. They fill out the apply online job posting. I may be only going after new client acquisition. I got to get some dollars in the door. I'm trying to get everybody, these are consumers that are ready to buy. So I'm looking for emergency situations, right? I don't need people that are still sitting on the fence. Do I make the investment? Do I not make the investment? It works. It's not efficient, but it works. Maybe you don't need those people right now. Maybe you only need. So if you need emergency customers, you need customers that aren't going to do a lot of research, you need them to make a decision very quickly, that strategy is different. You may be going after a pay-per-click strategy. You're focused on different key phrases. And your conversion rates have to be, your conversion tools, systems, design have to be perfect. Maybe you're trying to get ranked for every key phrase and question. Maybe you're trying to reach consumers earlier when they're doing the research and trying to figure out, what do I buy? What technology is better? What systems are better? How much should I spend? When do I need to do this? Building backlinks, getting ranked on the first page of Google for the phrases and the questions. The phrases, the questions, and the locations that your prospects and customers are asking for. It's going to require a backlinking strategy. And at some point, this backlinking strategy is going to cap out because we don't have the content that is strong enough to be able to be attracted by authority sites where you have media referencing your website, you have case studies, you have comparisons, you have content on your site that's so strong and so powerful that somebody links back to it and says, if you guys are interested in learning more information about this, check this article out. I just read it. Having content that's so strong and so powerful that you're able to share it, push it out to social media networks. People actually read it. So every strategic goal has a different sequence of steps that have to be done. None of that is going to be known unless you go through this process. A minimum of an annual basis. A minimum, every business owner, it doesn't matter what business you're in. This is a normal function and process of business. A SWOT analysis is going to help you determine what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your areas of opportunity, and what are your threats. Without this kind of analysis, you're shooting in the dark every single month, every quarter. You're spending money without any prioritization, without any plan or regard for the effectiveness of the dollar. Is it going to produce compounding interest impacts on your business? Spending to spend because dad said or friend said, hey, you got to have a Yellow Pages ad. No. If I can take the same dollar and I can apply it to something that produces 10 times the results, even if what you were already investing in was technically working, is that a smart decision? Of course. Of course, we can never get comfortable. We can't get comfortable doing the same thing. And quite frankly, the X's and O's of business strategy, this is an offensive and defensive game. We have to make sure that we are positioning ourselves, offensively going after what we want, and defensively positioning ourselves for when we get there and they try and take us down, that we're prepared. We make it more difficult. I'll come back to that. Okay, so let me jump out of here real quick. This is going to go through a lot of information, but I want to make sure that I'm able to go over a handful of points on the ebook that are key areas. I might get to page like 6. So the great part is register, come back next month. We'll go over the next series. All right. So the ultimate guide to HVAC marketing. Again, this is volume 1. This is the basics. The basics. So introduction is pretty simple. Technology advancements have fundamentally changed our world. The way people communicate, the way they do research. We're in a new world. Even if you may have personally be stuck in an old world, you cannot live without your Yellow Pages book. You are the only person that goes out there and grabs it off the curb and keeps it. Everyone else is using it to light their fireplace as a booster seat for their grandkids when they come over for Thanksgiving dinner. I'll stop there. Okay, so it's changed. Be careful. We're not marketing to ourselves. We're not. 43% of the world population is connected to the internet in your area, or is connected to the internet. Everybody has access to information, knowledge. There is nothing that's private or proprietary. I talked to a gentleman yesterday and he was like, no, I don't want any information on there about, if we were talking about commercial business. It's like, but you have an entire industry of people that are going to do the research online, look for answers to their biggest questions, and you want to keep that information and reserve it for your private lunch meeting or golf course meeting because you do business in person. So they're not even going to find you. They already found the information they need from 500 other people, right? Consumers have access to all of the information there is. You need to be in that game. So digitalization, it's empowering customers to find service providers, evaluate their worthiness, and determine whether or not they should earn their business even before having a conversation with you or sitting down at the table to listen to your traditional, beautiful, or custom, or the presentation and the list of questions that you have worked on for years and you are so proud of. They're making their decision before they even pick up the phone. Search has changed the face of HVAC. When it comes to heating and air conditioning, we talked about this. In the home, manufacturers are focused on advancements of the components themselves, making them more energy efficient and more connected than ever. Totally agree. You're in the right space. You're with the right company. Consumers' expectations for technology advancements go far above the equipment itself. They expect the contractor to be just as technology affluent and connected as the very equipment that they're looking to invest in. This is where it starts. It's the search. How do they search? Okay, so we do a tremendous amount of case studies, questions. We do them on our social media sites, our Facebook page, all the time. And we ask customers questions, just general questions. And this is not, we're not asking HVAC contractors. I'm not talking to the technical experts. We're asking homeowners. Luckily, like I said before, I get to go stand on stage in front of a whole group of people that have nothing to do with your industry, and I get to ask them awesome questions. And then I get to use that information and that data to help supplement knowledge and experience in doing this day in and day out and what the reports say. So I want to show you this really quick. And there's an entire section in the book that's just focused on this. This is click-through rate. So where you're positioned on Google matters. And I should back up. I will back up. There are 3 G's of leads. When it comes to making money online, it boils down to these 3 things. Yeah, I can make money boosting posts. We make money all the time. We got 16 leads for one of our HVAC contractors out of Florida because we posted a picture of a hound dog and said, my face is melting. And we boosted it. $25, 16 leads. That's a good deal. There was over 4,000 comments with people posting on their pictures of their dogs. So I guess Florida loves hound dogs. All right, so yeah, there's other ways to do this, but the basics, how we know technically how leads are converted online. So the 3 G's of leads. I'm trying to make it easy, right? G number 1, Google Business Listing. That's your Google Maps, okay? That requires a strategic set of very formal and proactive and planned and executed steps in order to get that thing to make you money in the city you have a physical office. Google rankings, that's Google search. That's different, that's organic. Organic results are driven through search engine optimization. That's when you hear people talking about SEO. And you have Google ads, paid ads, similar to a postcard, a mail, or a flyer, billboard. Not a lot of long-term benefits, but some. Definitely better than print. These are the 3 G's of leads. Now, depending on where you fall, so we're only going to talk about Google search. This is your rank in the organic placement as it was created through search engine optimization. If you are sitting on page 1, position 1, for a specific phrase, you are able to capture, or 18% of the conversions are taking place. And I'm only talking about organic because these numbers change when you start adding in pay-per-click and Google Business Listings, the maps. 18% of the conversions will happen in position 1, 10% in 2, 7% in 3, 4% in 4, 3 and 5, and we'll just dwindle this off and move that out of the gate. So a lot of times I'll hear somebody, they're like, I'm on page 1 of Google for my phrases. Like, what phrases? You know, stuff, air conditioning stuff. I'm like, what stuff? Where? What city? Oh, like air conditioning and repair, in my city. Like, okay, let's go look. So we start looking. First thing out of the gate when you're doing a search, very important, turn off your personal results. So if I look for AC repair, I'll just pull the first one that pops up. So if I look for AC repair West Chicago, this little button right here, if it's on this one, that means I'm looking at the results based on my personal search history. So I like my website. I'm going to show up. You have to turn off your personal search. You're going to get different results. So notice when I turned it off, I lost the ads. So we'll look here. I'm going to turn my personal search back on. So when it's me and I'm searching, I have an ad showing right up at the top. This happens to be my client sitting right here. So I see the ad because it's my personal results. I want to see that ad. Google knows I want to see that ad, so I see it. I get the Google Business Listings untouched, unchanged. I'm not going to modify. The only place that this is very different is in Sacramento right now with Google's Home Services search, which is, that's a whole nother training, so I'll stop there. Notice in this organic Google search, this maps, ads, search. Notice I see Blue Frost Home Advisor Chris Meck. I'm going to turn off my search. I lost the ad. It's actually not there for everyone else. Maps didn't change, stayed the same. Notice that the order changed. So where's Home Advisor? So the gentleman I spoke to yesterday, he said, Jen, no, it's, this is here. No, it wasn't. He was continually looking at his search. Worse, his SEO agency was telling him he was on page 1, position 1 of Google for about 45 key phrases, and he was not on page 1 for anything. His view of being listed on Home Advisor, he thought it was really, really critical because Home Advisor was first. It wasn't first. It's 5th. So that's right out of the gate. You got, SEO companies, these marketing companies are funny with you guys. They're not very nice. So I want to make sure, and this is why Ferguson and I, or your sales reps, invited you to this. Your TMs, your sales reps, sales managers, they invited you to this call because they want you to be educated. They don't want people to be able to say random stuff and it just, okay. All right, so no thumbs up, just random. So this search, there are many different phrases and searches we need to look for. It's pretty simple. You know, you have your basics, which you have to have one page of content for each one of your basics. AC service, AC repair, AC installation, AC replacement, AC maintenance, AC tune-up. Your blog, however, should address the variants, the different variations of how they look. So air conditioner, air conditioning, heater, furnace, heat pump, more, and we'll keep going. All right, this is your first opportunity to be a possible. I don't know if you played cards before, but my kids and I would play spades and my husband, and we'll say I got, you know, 2 and a possible. This is all this is a maybe. Make your the first thing is you have to be more possibles to more people. You know, there's only so many possibles out there at any given time in any given city. So you have to be page 1, position 1 at Google, not for 4 phrases, not for 10. You need hundreds. Over time, you can get there. You can absolutely build to that. I will show you something later. Okay, so 3 G's. The book is going to cover Google Maps. It tells you what to do. Paid click tells you what to do. SEO, organic, tells you what to do. This goes through each one. Let's dive in. It's a two-way street. There are pros and cons to everything. So pros to pay-per-click, speed. You can get results fast. You can make money quickly. Cons, it doesn't last forever. There's no, positive long-term compounding results on your business. So that's not great. I mean, but if you implement a pay-per-click plan so that you can drive business, get the phone ring, and make some money, and those dollars, that revenue, supports you focusing on long-term improvements on your organic placement, your rankings, and other marketing activities, absolutely that should be the plan. Great part about pay-per-click, it's flexible. It goes with the business. If it's 70 degrees and your guys are standing around twiddling their thumbs, turn it up. If it's 110 degrees, is burning up, and your guys are gone, you're booked, you're slammed, there's no way you can handle another deal, turn it off. That is the great part about PPC. It also helps you improve your rank placement, getting into the organic area faster. Google featured business listings, the maps. This only applies to the city you have a physical address. So if you are cool, only doing business in the city you have a physical address, then Google Maps is the place. Outside of that, you're gonna need other things. You're going to need other things. So in this environment, great part is setting up a Google business listing. It's free. So couple pointers. Don't pay a ton of money to anybody to set it up. It'll take you minutes. Knock it out. We can do a group session. Teach everybody to do it at the same time. If you want us to do it, we can do it. However, in order for this to work, you have to have a reviews acquisition and optimization strategy. So you have to have the most frequent, most positive reviews on a consistent basis, which means you have to have a different thing in place. So we have a system for acquiring reviews while you're in the customer's home, which you never want to send the request later. You do it while you're in the home. Make it easy. It's a mobile app. It's text message. Let the customer give you a review while you're there. Takes seconds, and most review acquisition systems are 50% of what you need. And trust me, there's none that I haven't looked at. There are 2 elements to reviews. 1, get it. 2, what do you do with it? Most review acquisition technologies, your review buzzes, what's the other? Oh my gosh, I have a chart. So if you want to know the difference in all of them, I'd be happy to send that to you. The reviews have to be leveraged on your website using Google's schema to be able to truly get the results. Otherwise it's pointless. Let me just give you one example real quick I'm going to go to weathers. That's the one I can think of right off the top of my head. Okay, so you'll notice here under service areas, each one of these is part of an SEO strategy, part of a local listing strategy, part of a review acquisition strategy, part of a review optimization strategy, and social media strategy. This is interconnected. So if all you're doing is getting reviews and they give you a widget to put on your website, the widget's invisible, no SEO power, absolutely none. If they go get a whole bunch of reviews and post them all over third-party websites, awesome. You own your site. I want this to be your primary investment. Google Business Listing, second. So you'll notice here this is optimized for Jacksonville, Florida air conditioning, heating, air conditioning. We have an API that's connected to Google. We have Google Schema tied into the review system, which is going to make sure you have check-ins, you have reviews. So not only can you get rank and placement and benefits from actually getting the review from the customer, but in addition to that, your guys can also be checking in the city that you want to do business in. With no review, it still has benefit. You have content, you have an individual page tied to the physical city that you want to do business in, and you got it from either checking in or getting the review. Very, very powerful. Also very closed, making sure you're asking customers you know are happy with what you do for the review. So Google Business, and these are actually two separate chapters I just combined into one. Very, very important. Maps. So bottom line is, the higher you rank, the more people will click on your website. The lower you rank, the less clicks you get, the less traffic you get, the less money you make, period. It's that simple. So how do you rank? Go look, make sure, if you're looking on a mobile device, you can't turn off your personal results, but you can go incognito, so you're going to want to do that. So first word search, heater. Second word search, service. Next word search, city and state. That's simple. All right, so as far as rankings, I've talked a lot about organic. I've talked about pay-per-click and Google Business Listings. Remember this: pay-per-click, 15 to 18% of the total click-throughs are happening in the pay-per-click area, which is much smaller than the entire organic area. So do you need to focus on organic? Absolutely. Does organic take a heck of a lot more time to get ranked and have your phone start ringing? Absolutely. So you should do both. Just remember, the ultimate goal is, I want to own and occupy this percentage. The majority of listings and results and activity is going to happen, especially from a more educated consumer who does not do as much shopping around and price shopping. Every kind of marketing activity you do produces a different type of customer. If you are doing thumbtack, right out of the gate, you're in competition with 5, 6, 7 different companies. If you're doing a lead system where you're buying leads, you're paying every single time you're paying. I've seen from $5, $60, $200. I am not going to pay somebody $100 for one lead, and I'm immediately in competition with 3 other people. They not know, but I'll just leave it at that. No. So partner with the right SEO agency and ensure you have internal structures to cope with sales and leads increases. Like I said, it's not just new lead acquisition. You've got to cover operations. They got to know how to run a business. So even though this says SEO agency, it's bigger than that. Web, search, social, mobile. I mean, they got to know they got to have every area. I'm going to address this very quickly. There are wicked, awesome pains of success. So remember the slide I had that was about mindset. You got to go into every phase. And it's hard because if you haven't been there, you don't know what to expect. So you need trusted advisors. I will tell you, for the pains of success are simple. You may have had an old website not ranking, didn't look good, and all of a sudden you got this robust website. It's showing up. It's on page 1 of Google. And what the heck? My website The security became more important. It's get hacked on a regular basis. My traffic went through. My site speed slowed down. I'm getting calls and spam and requests from companies all the time that send me a list of all the things wrong with my website. No, now you're on page 1 of Google. So it's so funny. Success will breed a whole bunch of other issues. So just be ready for them and think of it this way. When you become more successful, the volume of these hackers and bots, Autobots. Okay, just think Autobots. What is the movie? Autobots. Where is that from? Transformers. Okay, thank you. An Autobot. It's a script that's written to go out with a series of canned messages that change on a regular basis because somewhere on your website your email's there. Some on the internet your email's there. And they're looking for websites that rank in the higher pages. So when an Autobot is created, or bot is created, it scans a fewer number of pages. So if you're sitting on page 50 of Google, you're probably not getting the same volume of scammers out there trying to reach you and sell you services as if you're sitting on page 1, because bots crawl fewer pages. Now, here's the logic. Soak this one in. If you are a digital marketing company and you specialize in and are trying to sell me, an HVAC company, on bringing in leads and opportunities to my business, because you do marketing, that's what you do. Why the heck are you cold calling me? If you're good at this, right? You're an inbound marketing company, you're a marketing company, you know how to bring customers to you. Why are you spamming me? That is an oxymoron. If you know how to market your business properly and you're telling me you can market mine, then I should be calling you because I found you online or because you were referred or endorsed and so forth. So, all right, I'm going to get all of this. It's just so exciting. I get all worked up. Okay, so handful of things. You guys, we've made this really easy. You know, that's what your sales guys are there for. That's what we're here to help. So the solution is really, really simple. First, download the book. It's yours. V1 is, or this is V1. So your volume 1. Version 2 is coming out in 17. That's for the phase 2 dealers that have move forward with the program. We have a whole group of dealers with Ferguson that it's kind of the zero to hero. They started and they didn't exist online. And while they're just covering the basics, they're ranking. They are now, if a referral comes in, they're converting. They're capturing leads. It's going into a database. They're actually showing up on Google, depending on how long they've had their website live. And they will be ready for phase 2. And then phase 3, and phase 4, and phase 5. So don't think about this as a project. It's not a project. It's marketing your business and continuing to learn how to leverage technology in order to improve operations, reduce inefficiencies, reduce duplicate processes, replace people. I literally was up working on a project with my team last night where we found 2 pieces of technology and we were so excited. At 2 o'clock in the morning last night, we just eliminated 2 roles, 2 jobs in our company. That sounds bad, right? No, those 2 people, I now can use them in other areas. I can use those 2 resources to do other things. But I have 2 FTEs. We literally just mapped out an entire plan to be able to change their job and apply them to something else because we're leveraging technology. So first things first, download the marketing guide. Second thing, we're here to do that strategy session, the SWOT analysis. When you download the book, put a little note in there, comment if you want to get on a call, have that SWOT analysis. That's the benefit of what Ferguson is bringing to you is time. This is hours and hours and hours that are dedicated going into helping you guys go through and evaluate what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your areas of opportunity, are there any threats out there. Bottom line, you guys, knowledge is power. It's free information. Take advantage of it. As you can tell, we love this stuff. We're not salespeople. We're a bunch of entrepreneurs with crazy big plans, and we want you to be a part of it. So for all of you that attended, everyone from Ferguson sales guys, gals, for bringing your dealers, everybody, I appreciate you. I know it's hard to take this time, and hopefully there is enough value in this that you feel like it was worth your time. So, handful of things. One, you're going to get a questionnaire after the session. There's a few questions on there. Just remember this: 3 G's of leads: Google AdWords, Google Maps, Google Google Business Listing, Google Search. Those are your 3 G's. The RCTs of business leads. So you need to be relevant. You need to be trusted. You need to be the current. You have what kind of analysis you need to do right now. You need to sign up for this with us. SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Take the survey, submit. It's going to come in, and your sales guys need to help you. You get ICP credits for training for doing the survey, showing up, watching the live presentation. So you're already enrolled into the next presentation. Show up, watch live, finish the survey afterwards. Boom, free credit. Take it. All right, with that, I hope you all have a power-packed rest of this month. And let's wrap up the year with a plan, a strategy, and some clarity in what we're going to do in 2017, how we're going to make waves. Okay, it's a new year and a new season, and it's time to start now. So again, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for attending. I'm Jennifer Bagley, ciwebgroup.com, jenniferbagley.com, and download your free ebook at hvacmarketingguide.com. Thanks to Ferguson and all of the team for attending today.